mystery and horror, the air itself is filled with monsters.
Children of the night, what music they make. He's alive! He's alive!
Well, hello, all you monster fiends, and thank you for joining us for another deep dive, factoid-filled episode exploring Hollywood's most famous monsters. I am your mistress of ceremonies, Sam. Such a goofy laugh. And join with me, as always, Dan from Bleeding Marvelous. Say hello, Dan.
Hello, Dan.
That's
joined
like
with Sammy, like
joined
twins.
with me. Because we've just been talking about midnight mass. Joined with me, Dan.
God.
Oh, we're not even down the religious route tonight.
Amen.
I was thinking more come by arm itself, just given that we are going to camp.
Oh, that'll work.
Yeah. We are going to camp. We are going to Sleepaway Camp, one of, if not one of my favorite slasher movies of all time. I effing love this movie. Shouldn't at all, but I do. So I'll get the disclaimer out of the way with, and then I can tell you all about why I love Sleepaway Camp. So everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us in the Facebook group, the comment section, or the Discord, and we can have an open discussion. What we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can all agree to disagree in fandom, so let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Don't be a dick.
There you go. Dan's contribution to the disclaimer: don't be a dick.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. Just like you.
Oh, I was going to say, unlike me, the short bit is right, not the sweet. I'm bitter like my coffee.
No, that's not true. So, Sleepaway Camp from 1983. A franchise that consists of 5 movies, one of which never actually fully got completed. It is a perfect place. I know. It is a perfect place to die as we bring you Sleepaway Camp.
Night.
Night indeed. My goodness. If anyone has seen Sleepaway Camp, you're probably laughing at the fact that 1, we're doing this episode, and 2, why it's one of my favourites.
And it's a film Sammy's seen.
Who knew? Who knew? It's a film I have seen and Paul hasn't. I know.
I was going to pull the face then, but I thought, no, I'll wait.
Oh God, I think that's mine. That's mine after the 24-hour live stream. Just yeah, Sleepaway Camp is an absolute 80s slasher classics. It was there. It was definitely there. I had the pleasure of going and seeing this on the big screen on Friday the 13th, which is why I couldn't join the live chat when our Jason episode aired. I was there with the podcast, The Evolution of Horror, which is fantastic, by the way. Really in-depthy look into horror, and it kind of tries to stick to a genre or even a timeline. It's so good. So good. But the experience was something else, because I didn't expect to be in a room with people who hadn't actually seen it. If you're going to see Sleepaway Camp, you're going because you know this movie.
You
know what is to be expected.
Yes.
But half the cinema, full house, complete full house, half the cinema hadn't seen it.
It's a shocker to me. I mean, I know Sleepaway Camp is, would you say it was classed as a B movie, or is it I would say a cult movie now, but when it was made, was it one of those?
Potentially, given the quality of it, potentially.
Yeah. It was made for 350k in 1983, which is the equivalent to about $1 million now. So
That's it. It's only one location as well.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm getting flashbacks of the film in my head. Oh God. If you've not seen Sleepaway Camp, you don't have to do what I did and pay £15 for the privilege to go and watch it in the cinema. You can actually watch it on YouTube for absolutely fuck all.
Yes. It's also
That's
on
how
Prime.
good it is.
But
Is it?
Yeah. For
Oh,
£3, I think it is £3
I
on Prime.
go to YouTube and watch it for now.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see it. It's a film that because I saw Star Wars 40th anniversary this year of Return of the Jedi, and I thought, brilliant, this is 40-year-old this year. I'm 40 this year. Like that was just, it was all nicely timed. But it was such an experience watching it on the big screen, and I forgot how short it was.
Yeah.
It's not the longest of films.
No, and they didn't take a lot of cuts as well. The editors didn't do a lot of cutting on it as well, because they felt that everything that was in there was needed to portray to get to where you need to get to. And even they didn't care about the rating system. They weren't fucked at all.
Not fucking surprised.
They weren't fucked at all about whether it got is it an NC-17 or they get their really high rating, which is usually a death knell in the box office for horror movies or movies as a whole, because obviously it limits the amount of people that can come and see it. But or is it an R-rated? I don't know whether it went beyond.
So yeah, just don't watch. Yeah. That's what I had on there. Just do watch it. So just to give you an idea, because it does come at the time of you've got your Michaels, your Jasons, and then your Felissa Rose.
Yeah, Felissa. I think
Felissa,
it's not Felicia. It's Felissa.
Or her screen name, Angela. Now the whole film is centered around a camp, which actually was pointed out to us. I am not clever enough to have thought this by myself. First time you see a camp in horror where children are there.
True.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always counselors. It's always adults. It was actual children there.
It was something to do, because I saw a documentary about this film, and the guy that was I think he was the director or writer, I can't remember, one of them, one and the same. He was saying that he wanted children to be children. He didn't want to have 24-year-old, 15-year-olds. He said it just doesn't work. It didn't work for him. Hence why when Felissa was cast in the role, she was only 13 years old.
Yeah, and she had her mother there with her every day. There was certain things that they actually wanted to push Felissa to do as a 13-year-old, and her mother was Big Mama Bear, who went, fuck no.
Yeah. They wouldn't let her use her hands in the scenes. So all the scenes you see is actually the kid that played Ricky.
Yes.
It's all his hands, and because they wanted to give a different thought process behind it.
The whole film is, the start of the film, you have a dad and two kids.
Two dads. Yeah, because it was a progressive film at the beginning, because they had a gay couple in 1983, which is something that you didn't see a lot of in movies full stop back then. Plus,
that we didn't get that, because it's so weird. The scene that you have, the flashback scene later on, where you see the two of them in bed together, it's like almost they just found them in that position, and it's like, oh, what? Dad? Him? But that would make sense.
Yeah.
Because the other dad's reaction is the most funniest fucking thing I have ever seen. He just stands there and goes, which is a running theme with this film, actually.
Well, it is.
So yeah, you've got dads, but you've got one in the water and two kids.
Yeah.
Got the greatest speedboat. Oh my God. Girl on a speedboat being dragged at the back. Speedboat, I don't know how they did. I don't know. It's very easily avoidable accident. Very easy, but big accident happens. The girl at the end on the back of the boat, she earned that paycheck. That's screaming, help the children, they need to help the children.
That was, I mean, overacting may be accused of in that situation, but you know.
You think she got paid by the word?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
And so, yeah, big massive accident happens. And then we kind of like skip forward into camp life.
Crazy Aunt Martha, is it? Aunt Martha?
Oh,
yeah, I think it is Aunt Martha.
I've got the cast here because I couldn't be asked to write them all down.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, Aunt Martha. That woman, Desiree Gold, is an absolute fucking treasure.
She's a Looney Tune of the highest order in this movie.
Wasn't that nice of me?
She's like cold, psychotic. She, to me, if you were to ask me the question, who's the monster in this movie? Her.
Yes.
She bred
crazy.
She bred the crazy, yeah. She gave me the heebie-jeebies. I couldn't work out when I first saw it if she was like remembering her being over the top, or these flashbacks were actual flashbacks of how we're supposed to know that this woman is as nuts as she is. So it took me a little while to click that it wasn't like Angela's memory of her. It was actually her.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think it is actually her. Yeah. But the whole the I tied a ribbon around my finger so I wouldn't forget. Wasn't that good of me? I just fucking love that. Sorry, I will laugh consistently through this episode. I'm not going to lie, because it is an absolute belly tickle. So yeah, Crazy Anson's cousin Angela Ricky. And her son Ricky, off to camp. And it is just like it just looks normal camp, like a camp style. But what gets me is the kid range. So you've got like Ricky and Angela, yes, they look like normal age and a bit younger than them, normal age for being at camp, at a summer camp in America. Why the fuck do we have 40-year-olds and 30-year-olds kicking about? Them older boys looked really fucking old.
Which was something that when I saw the documentary and he was saying, I want the kids to look like kids, I thought, well, that wasn't all your choice, clearly, because there is a lot of adult looking people. I mean, I think Judy was 20. She
fucking looks 40. Like
she was 20
she's so when she weird. She's tiny. She's small figured, like small in size, small, very petite figured. But her face tells her age.
Yeah.
And she pulls some of the greatest facial expressions I have ever seen. But what I was gonna the fashion. The fashion,
80s chic,
the tank tops.
I still don't understand this, right? I was having this conversation with Rob because we were watching the new VHS 85 that come
amazing
out. And I'm not going to spoil it, but there is an 80, obviously being 85 fashion, and there again is the sports shorts with the men in crop tops. And I said to Rob, never in my life. I was born and raised in the 80s. I'm from a generation of 80s children. I don't think that looked caught on over here, did it? Like, no. I don't remember seeing anyone walking the streets in crop top sweaters and like running shorts.
Full on midriff, regardless of how hairy they are.
Yeah.
Full on midriff with the tightest of tight shorts. My God.
I just don't recall it, and I feel like it's been made up from horror tropes now. But I'm sure it was fashionable in America. I don't recall it being a thing.
No,
when I was growing up.
I mean, I'm from the north, so ain't no fucking way that was happening up here. It was too fucking cold.
Minus 15 still got their shorts on.
That is very true. With their tops off. I hate it. But yeah, the fashion was a choice. Girl fashion was actually totally fine. But boy fashion, wow. Big, massive choices in that one. But there was, so you get to meet the camp counselors, you get to meet the children. Like, one of the camp counselors I really fucking like. His acting is something to be questioned, but character-wise, I genuinely liked him. He genuinely cared. The guy in the red shorts, Ronnie, yeah. he generally cared about Angela, because Angela's a very quiet person. She doesn't speak. It's fucking hilarious when people are shouting at her going, "Why don't you speak?" And she's just...
Well, her first word comes 31 minutes into the movie. She does not speak a word until 31 minutes in. She just stares at people for 31 minutes.
But she literally... these big, massive fucking eyes. Michaela actually turned around and said, "Does she talk in this?" I went, "I generally don't know at this point. I can't remember. I feel like she does, but she's really not proven that right now."
No, in her audition, he had her sit there and do that scene where, when she's not eating the chocolate bar, but she's eating the chocolate bar.
It's like here.
But she's pretending to eat it and chew it, and she's just staring. And he had her do that for her audition.
She's so good. She is so good, though. So we get to meet Angela, we get to meet the kids, we get to meet the camp counselors, we get to meet the staff.
Oh, now, please, can we have a word?
About?
Just a small one about the casting choices, plus the what the fuck were they thinking when they wrote those parts?
Right. Hold on to your seats, people.
Yeah.
Because this is about to take a turn that horror has probably never done before, never should do, and should never repeat. They cast a dying man, because he died shortly after this film, to play the camp leader, like the owner, who was having it off with an 18-year-old.
Are we talking about Mel here?
Yes, we fucking are.
Mel, who had the lips that just kept going, that many a woman these days would be incredibly jealous of.
Yes.
Yeah, he looked like you could stick him on a car window and he'd stay there, like...
There's a He-Man figure with just the sucker bit.
Those Garfields that used to stick to the window, Yeah, that was unsettling. I mean, firstly, she needs to have a word with herself.
She was a really pretty girl. She's about 18 years old.
Yeah.
And she is absolutely in love with him. But it's not like they're going off to like have these weird rendezvous. They're like, "Oh yes, I'm going to come to your house for dinner."
Civilized affair. It's a civilized affair.
But why wouldn't you cast a younger character, like a younger actor, to play that part?
That was a choice.
Dying. He died.
Yeah, I think he didn't get to see the actual film in the cinema, if I remember rightly. He died in the August and it premiered in the November, I think. Something like that. Something happened where he died before the film
3 months before the film release. So yeah, he died in the August.
Yeah. So when...
He died a month after I was born.
I was just like, woof. I mean... Can we talk about the fact that the not the main chef, but the under chef?
Oh God!
Can we talk about the fact that he is Darth Vader's dad, please?
Yeah.
When I found out Robert Earl Jones was Ben, I didn't even twig it when I was watching it. But when I watched the documentary and they said, yes, this is James Earl Jones's father, I was like,
I fucking knew I heard someone say that on Friday. Someone turned around and went, "It's Darth Vader's dad now." And fucking no, it's not.
Ben the chef. Yeah, Ben the chef is James Earl Jones's dad. And I was just like,
Ben the chef, who for a couple of extra quid will forget the fact that his boss was a peddler. Let's talk about it. So in this movie, this is the bit where it should never be repeated again. What the fuck were they thinking? One of their main characters, it's actually one of the first kills.
Yeah.
The chef is a walking, talking, breathing peddler.
Mm-hmm. And he goes full on in the store, in the food closet, doesn't he? He goes full on. And you're probably only about maybe 12 to 15 minutes in at that point, I think. So
this happened, people.
You're having that now. We're setting this tone.
Oh, it's what he says when they're walking through. Oh God, right. I'm going to repeat it because it's from the film, but I'm going to cringe as I'm saying it. And he says, "They are premier looking meat. Do you know what we call them back at home? Baldies." Just hold that for a minute.
No, I will not. Be gone. Take that out of my brain.
Oh, God. Yes, one of my favourite horror movies has a fucking peddler as the main character, is one of the main cast members, one of the main characters. I mean, he's not in real life. I fucking hope not. But they made a choice that the chef in a child's fucking camp would be this kind of person, and the whole staff know about him.
Yeah, and they just
And
made
for
an
a couple of
excuse for it,
extra
didn't they?
quid, well, shut the fuck up when he dies. some of the death scenes, man. That's his for starters. So he's fucking awful cretin of a man. Tries it on with Angela.
Yeah,
and obviously fucking dies not long after that.
Well, Ricky catches him, doesn't
Yeah.
he? Ricky
Ricky's-
and then Ronnie. I think it's Ronnie.
Ricky is probably one of my favorite characters. I fucking love the sass on that boy. I love how he's not fucking scared. What does he say to one of the guys? One of the guys shouts him, "Eat shit and die, Ricky." He's good. "Eat shit and live."
He's
I love him.
yeah, that they go full on in that scene.
Yeah.
And then I think it cuts to him standing on a stool or something.
Standing
Because
on a
chair.
on no, it's ladders. He's standing.
Oh, that's
so
it.
he's a big, massive pot.
Yeah.
And he needs
Now,
to
excuse
season it.
me. Firstly, where the fuck do you buy a pot that fucking big that you can fit a human stand in it? I've
big
never seen a pot that big in my life.
The big giant pot stock. That was fucking huge.
Just like,
but
Jesus.
I feel like this death, it could have been very much avoided if he just stepped down, or like, so he's standing on this like ladder or step or something. It's ladders because is he gripped here or is he gripped
I
there?
think he
He's
goes
gripped
to
like that.
reach the shelf, isn't it?
Yeah, he reaches up. Yeah, that's right. So he's standing on a chair which tilts. Yeah, that's right. And he grabs a hold of it. He could have quite easily just fucking, like, he didn't need to like fall onto the pot that fell onto him and boiled him. But how long was that camera on him while he was screaming? That's the one thing you can take away from this movie. It is, for all it's a quick one, it's not a long movie, but the pace of it is so fucking slow.
Yeah.
Everything is a slow reaction, and you are there for quite some time on this man who he fucking deserves it.
Yes.
And more. But yeah, you're on him boiling and bubbling away.
Because you just see this little hand or two hands come out of nowhere and pull the chair, don't you? Or tip the chair or something.
I could have quite easily stepped off the chair. He was an adult.
Don't be silly.
But then he drags the pot on him.
And he coats himself. Technically, he killed himself.
He did.
Fucking
idiot.
But yeah, fucking yeah.
Yeah, but as Mel bribes the staff, like, because Mel's the guy from Jaws. He's the mayor who doesn't want the camp to, like, the beach to be closed down. He doesn't want the camp to be closed down. And he bribes the staff. Listen, for a couple of extra pounds, let's forget this ever happened. And it's like, yeah, let's also forget what he did. For just a few more pounds. It was literally, there was nothing. It was £15 an hour. You couldn't fucking pay me that at all.
No.
I can't be bought like that.
Nah, I mean, that was a bold choice to have so early in the movie, like the pedalo scene, but then you get the comeuppance really quickly. So it's like, boom, boom, and then you're like, boom. Ha. Ha, 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 ha.
Ha. So you've kind of, like, spoiler alert, it was Angela. But you've kind of got, you don't really have your suspicions with her at all to start with. And even I don't have them with Ricky. And the problem I have with this movie is it is brought up on because it does have a massive fucking twist at the end.
Yes.
Which I am going to fucking quite gladly ruin for you in a way later on. But it's brought up on every fucking horror list of big, massive twists.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they did a good job.
They did. But I knew who the killer was and the secret at the end.
See,
before I even saw it.
Because you've been told, was it? Or because you just knew it?
I just saw it. I'd seen it on so many lists of this is one of the most
Right.
fucked up movies we've ever seen. Look at the big fucking, and it doesn't have any gore in it.
Yeah, because of the age of a lot of the younger kids, they couldn't, because they were under
Yeah.
18, the studio couldn't ensure certain things, which was weird, but true.
There's a kill I'll get to later that I actually, when I was rewatching it on Friday, I completely forgot it took place, and it actually shocked us to my core. But the second kill, can't think who that was now. Who's died next? Because everyone dies for a reason.
I want to say it's Meg.
Meg.
In the
shower.
beautiful 18-year-old that is seeing the platypus-lipped car Garfield sticker suction pad that he is Mel. And when we say Mel, we're talking about he is, now bearing in mind this is 80s time, so he probably was only in his 30s, but he looked
Probably.
like he was in his 60s. Now I'm all up for age gaps, but
hey, you do you, but fuck me, 18-year-old, 60, 70-year-old, no.
This was a choice as well with the
Mhm.
writers.
Why did they think that casting was okay? It would have been fine if he were younger.
Well, this was the thing as well, because the girl that played Meg was actually in one of those tea time. I didn't write it down which one it was, but you know, like they have the Young and the Restless. They have the
the Bold and the Beautiful.
Those like family type. You know what I mean? There was this.
Yeah,
she was a very wholesome character in the TV show she was in,
mm-hmm.
and they cast her in this role, and it was just like she turned up. Apparently, Felisa said she turned up. And she came in a big limo because the studio had sent her in a limo because she was their baby, you know. And she literally isn't in it that long at all.
No, she isn't. She has a good go at Angela, doesn't she? Why didn't you talk to me?
Yeah. She tries to be her friend and then it doesn't work and she gets really frustrated with her, doesn't she? She tries to talk to her normally and then nothing happens because she just stares at her like she does with everybody. And then Meg loses her shit with her. So
yeah, and then Judy comes along with her fucking. There is one scene where she's watching Angela with this boy who's a friend with Ricky, and she's just.
Is that Paul?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Paul.
Paul.
Yeah, Paul who did the dirty, but I will get to that. But yeah, Meg's the next one. Meg is a Friday the 13th murder. Is a Friday the 13th death. In the shower. Oh, God, yeah. In the shower. Knife in the back.
But the thing that I found weird was how thin were those bathroom walls for Angela to get
That's what you found weird, apart from Meg showering and going. She's not actually physically touching herself. She's not touching herself. She's got nothing in her hands, but she's like fiddling all over the place. And you found the door weird. She's fucking doing something. She's not even touching herself while she's showering.
I didn't even notice. I've got to be honest. I was just so taken aback by the fact that a kid was supposed to have punched a hole through a shower door with a big knife, and at that precise time that she leant back, she got her. And I was just like, fuck me, that's a good shot.
That's fucking impressive. Do you know what? I honestly would take that knife stab right in the back now because I have such a pain in the top part of my back that anytime I see a kill that involves a knife in the back, I'm like, oh, fuck, yes, I'd do that. Like, yes, go on, right now. Come on. Fucking sort this pain out of my back.
Am I right in saying Angela drags it down like that?
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's why I felt like it was a very Friday the 13th kill because it wasn't just a case of stab and done. It was like a stab and drag.
Yeah.
That was it. Was in the shower as well.
Yeah, but I like the fact, if I'm right, didn't Angela turn the shower off and turn the lights off after she'd done it as well? Yeah,
kind of fucking half-assedly cleaned her knife. She gets it in the water and she just goes, yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So yeah, Meg's bit the big one. Shame. What did Meg do? Oh yeah, Meg shouted at her. You got to think everything that's been done to these people is because they have pissed one person off.
Yeah.
So you see kind of a common theme. The next one is it the jock? You know,
I think it might be
the bees.
Oh, the bees.
The bees. That is the most calmest kill I have ever seen. So a bunch of bees nest hung over a toilet seat that have had yes, the doors have been locked on the other side, so technically he would have had a struggle to get out. But his feet do not move a fucking inch when them bees are attacking him. Like if and then you saw it, it's pretty. I've got to give the makeup guy props on the look when the door finally opens and you get to see, because it's pretty fucked up. But he does not move an inch. I feel like he could have done more.
Yes, I mean the cubicle wasn't tiny. There was a lot of flailing room into there to be had.
His feet do that, man. Do that. Mine would be on the toilet trying to climb over the other side, like trying to fucking kick the door in. Yeah, I'd be going fucking nuts. But his character was funny though. It was your typical 80s douchebag.
Yeah.
He was part of a little gang who, we've totally missed a death out.
The drowning.
The boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boat scene. The canoe where it goes under and he goes under the canoe and he's singing. He's just he's like listening to himself sing in the echo. He's just fucking singing away and then he dies.
And then they go, oh, let's not call anybody again, wasn't it? Mel was like, shh, we've got to keep this quiet. Yeah, we can't do anything again.
The police are called at some point with a guy who has the best fake tash ever.
That is awful.
It's 2 brown pieces of sellotape stuck down here. And
I noticed that for the first time when I was watching the documentary, because I don't know whether the documentary was done in higher def than the movie, but you could literally see how square it was and how you could see the glue, which was weird because Ed French did an amazing job on the special effects as a whole.
The makeup is fantastic.
Apart from that tash.
So I was just scrolling there to find something. The police officer entering the rec hall at the end of the film wears a fake mustache. Fucking no. And the reason behind it, he shaved off his actual mustache during the film and didn't have enough time to grow it back. Don't have a mustache. Why does a policeman have to have a mustache?
Because it's the 80s.
Is that like the badge of honor for all 80s fucking law enforcement? Mustache.
Mustache and aviators in the 80s.
Oh my God. Yeah, he was a great one. So yeah, we missed the boat guy out. But he was part of this big fucking douchey group of typical 80s kids who just the way they went on when they lost the game. I like to call it rounders. They like to call it baseball. When they're playing baseball, they were kids. They were fully grown adults.
Yeah.
You can't tell me otherwise that they were not fully grown adults. Because they were. So yeah, the guy dies with the bees, the guy dies in the boat, and then we come to is it Judy?
I was going to say her arch nemesis, Angela's arch nemesis.
Judy, who's the best pain in the arse you ever want to come across.
She kissed Paul, basically, from what I can remember. Paul and Angela were becoming very friendly. Angela quite liked Paul. Paul quite liked Angela. Then
got
Judy,
her out of her shell.
Yeah. Then Judy used her magical powers on Paul, and they had a kiss. Yeah. From what I remember. Now, bear in mind, this is where it gets icky again. Paul was only 15 and Judy was 20.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. See, this movie yes, it reeks of 80s, and yes, you can sit there and go, well, it was a different time. Like, and there's a lot of things you can say that with different time. But this is just this was wrong then. It's wrong now. It'll be wrong forever.
Yes. It's wrong with a capital R. Yeah. But there was a 5-year age gap between Paul and Judy. But so Angela finds out. She's not happy about it.
And she's fucking pissed.
And she does the most drastic kill. I mean, this is it, for the time, I'm guessing this was incredibly imaginative. and quite explicit. And it takes you a second to realise
where it's going.
And you're just like, nah.
It is
Oh,
to
she
date
did.
my favorite kill in horror history.
Really?
It is it's my favorite, because that curling iron went somewhere. And
right up the wazoo.
What did I say in the podcast? It went in one hole.
Yeah, more than certainly did.
I absolutely. It's one of my favorite. Yeah, it is one of my favorite kills. It's so creative. She deserved it because she was a bitch. Did she deserve it though? Because she was technically a child.
Who wants their whispering eye curled with a curling iron? Not me, that's for sure.
No, fuck that.
To quote role models, a whispering eye.
It's so creative. I have said it in a more vulgar way before, but I ain't gonna do that now. I do swear on here, but I do try to keep it a bit tasteful.
I mean, if we could use obviously medical names, but I mean, where's the fun in that?
Oh, exactly. But yeah, it is. Judy gets it. She really gets it. Yeah. Now, in the meantime, Mel has found Meg's body.
Yeah.
And he's doing this amazing for your consideration Oscars speech of I'm going to get him. It's that Ricky. And he totally blames Ricky. He's got no evidence whatsoever, but blames this child for the murder of his 18-year-old girlfriend. Oh, come here, I can't believe I'm saying that.
And bearing in mind, there's another 30, 40 kids in this camp. But just Ricky. Just Ricky.
But before Meg got the chop, the camp counsellors were dishing out the night's duties. And one counsellor got to take now he had the youngest of the group of children. He had to go and take them camping for the night.
That's it, yeah.
Hey, this is the bit I forgot.
There's about 5 or 6 of the kids, wasn't there, at that age? They were very young, but there wasn't very many. Yeah.
No, but this is what made me go a bit cold. I totally forgot about this bit. This is grim. This is the only thing we can think these kids did was kick sand at Angela.
Yeah.
Kick sand.
Angela's not in her right mind, though, so she took affront to that.
So there's 5 kids in total who have got to do this sleepover. There's a hatchet on the ground. You got to take that into account. And 2 kids during the night. How brave! How amazing are these 2? Just went, we can't do this, and we want to go back. And they start getting all fussy. And the camp counselor, for all he's a bit sick of them, he still recognizes that they are children, and he's like, yes, of course, I'll take you back. And the other 3 are sleeping, and he kind of hesitates to go. He kind of goes back, walks away, goes back, and he's like, I'll go and take them. And then when he comes back, they were babies. They didn't deserve that.
They are filling in their mince pie jackets, aren't they? They're
it's fucking brutal. What
sleeping bags? They're still in them, and they're full of meat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not children, just full of meat.
No, she did a fucking number on them, and they didn't deserve it. And I totally forgot about them kills.
They're grouped horrific into one big kill on one of the lists I got, but I'm
all right with a 30-year-old playing a 15-year-old getting curling iron where it shouldn't go, but don't you touch them kids in a sleep bag. They were innocent. They were just a fucking kick sand. It was ridiculous. It was a ridiculous reason, given the other reasons were all geared towards something not brutal, but almost you can understand. I can't understand. Can you understand, really? Apart from the first one, the other ones really didn't deserve it.
I mean, they were there for this is a shock value kills movie. So there's no safe place. You've got kids being killed, like wee kids,
Yeah.
like tiny kids. You've got curling irons going up your front bum. You've got like people being stung to death by bees, drowned. And we'll be coming to the others in a bit, but like no one's safe. I think what they were trying to make a point of. Angela just wasn't compassionate at all. She had no boundaries when it came to.
That's true, which will all be explained very shortly as to why. Then you get Mel is on a rampage for Ricky. He's after Ricky's blood, which we'll also remember that is Angela's cousin.
Yes.
And he finds him. Yes. And he does the Donkey Kong of all Donkey Kong kills. He does. He starts like he almost goes animalistic on him, and he's like he just starts thumping him with both hands, beating him down. He's a fucking child. Let's not forget this, right? He's tiny as well. He's not the biggest. He's not the tallest. He's a tiny, well-framed little boy.
Leaves him for dead in the forest, doesn't he? If I remember rightly.
And he has a proper panic on, and he's like, "What have I done? What have you done? What have you done?"
Bit late now, mate.
Bit late now, Mel. Does Mel bite the bullet?
Yes, he does. He then goes back to the camp, and he's looking around for something, and you see like this shimmer in the distance, and then you see it's an arrow being turned like around, and then next thing you know, Mel's got an arrow through his throat. Yeah,
that's right. He has a Kevin Bacon death scene.
He does,
in a way.
Yeah,
kind of actually going in, just reversed. I've just read the Wikipedia there on Judy's death, and it's like lit curling iron.
Oh yes, it was still on because she was doing her hair, wasn't she?
Yeah. Let's not forget again. Favorite death scene in horror.
Cauterization at the same time.
Oh, and she was tiny too. That would have like absolutely broke her in two. I don't think I've ever laughed so uncomfortably.
I'm still trying to work out though, and excuse my ignorance with this one, but how did she die? Was it instant shock?
I mean, I'd fucking die if that happened.
But like,
I get you. That's not going to kill you.
It's not going to kill you. You can pull it out yourself. It's not like
it would fucking hurt.
Oh God, yeah. I'm
not saying it. I can then
I imagine you can like you pass out and that out of the pain. But I'm just like, how did it kill her?
Unless she didn't die, and she just hang on.
She's on the list of deaths. So
yeah, it's just honestly, it just says that Judy is killed by a vaginal penetrated with a lit curling iron.
She must have rammed it up there quite far. That's all I'm going to say because I can't work out in.
She must have let it come out of her mouth.
Yes, she fed her for breakfast. She reverse fed her breakfast. Yeah,
she reverse fed her a curling iron. Oh, so we've had Mel die.
The four kids with a hatchet. Four kids with a hatchet. Mel, curling iron. The Meg's back split open with the knife. Stung to death by bees. And drowned in a lake. Yeah. Which leaves us with the final kill.
The final one.
Pretty sure about.
Yeah. So we have a flashback scene. We go back. If we go back to the beginning, the two children that were on a boat, we forgot to mention were brother and sister.
Angela and Peter.
So Angela is part of the accident that happened. And you get to see a very strange scene between what I now believe is the two dads. There's no reason for that scene. Of two, and I don't care, but in the context of the film, it doesn't make sense for it to be there. Two men in bed and two kids watching.
I think what they were trying to get at, and
Dad was gay.
Well, there is that. But back then, there was this weird narrative that still kind of lingers now when it comes to gay couples and how it affects their children and all that bullshittery that is absolute fucking nonsense, may I say.
Mm-hmm.
And if you believe that parents that are gay in any way can confuse a child, get in the bin. Honestly, get in the fucking bin. Seriously.
Get
I
off
don't
this
want to hear
podcast,
it.
that's for sure.
Off you go, trot along, never mind. I know many a gay couple that have bought very intelligent, very well educated, very, very highly functioning, sociable children that absolutely know the right from wrong. They are more, they're just pleasures to be around. And I'm not someone who likes kids. So we'll just leave it at that. But I feel like they were trying to feed that narrative.
I think the pennies just dropped. Yeah, I think the pennies just dropped with the fact of what actually happened to, they actually came from a very loving home.
Yes.
It wasn't them who created this. It was that. It
was Aunt Maud or May or Martha. Yeah. It'll come down to Martha because Martha wanted what she wanted.
She did. So we find out that one child survived.
Yeah.
And that one child was
Peter.
Peter. It was Peter. Peter was the child who survived. Angela died along with her father. Mm-hmm. And Peter was the one who was taken in by his fucking crazy batshit crazy auntie, and who said, "Oh no, another boy will not do. It simply will not do."
No.
And she made Peter into Angela. Now there is a lot of controversy over this point, because it's, once you find out that Peter is then transitioned into Angela, and Angela goes on her killing spree.
Yeah.
It's put into question over the transitioning part of the transgender part, being that, oh, well, they only did it because they, there's so much controversy around it. I generally don't think that is where it was. I think it was trying to get one message across and not the other, because the other at the time, didn't have a conversation about it.
It wasn't something that you talked about back then. It wasn't something that was admitted to in a family environment, let alone in a social setting or even in a bigger setting than that. It was, and forgive the pun, but you were in the closet with that kind of thing back then.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of like little YouTube videos and stories and articles that come from the transgender community with regards to this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them love this film for what it did, for to show that it's not just them pushing, that you have that thing where the mainstream media will have you believe that they're pushing narratives, the transgender community.
Mm-hmm.
They love this film because it shows that it wasn't because Peter became Angela. It was because Martha made Angela the monster she is, and she forced the transition upon Angela.
That's exactly it.
And that made Angela angry because Angela never got to adjust to the fact that Peter had lost his sister Angela and his father, and then all of a sudden he's staying with his weird fucking aunt that's making him wear dresses and calling him Angela all of a sudden, and then he doesn't know which way's up, down, around the corner. Even his cousin Ricky knows. He must know.
He has to know. Oh, does he? That's the terrifying part of Martha. Yeah. She could have quite easily, because when Peter is brought to the house, he's wearing a head bandage. Now there is a scene to throw you off, and I think it's Judy's death scene, because the lights are out and Judy, so the door opens and there's a figure at the door, and it's actually Ricky.
Yeah,
because they do want to throw you off with who it is. But I generally don't think Ricky knew. I think he thought it was Angela.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, Aunt Martha
is crazy.
Do you know what her occupation was? Supposedly a doctor.
No, she was not.
Apparently, and I read this on a couple of things. They said that was her occupation. I was like, no fucking way, Doc. There's no way. An insane woman at the level of insanity that she had. I don't know whether it was psychopathy or she was
But it would be
I
perfect
can't-
that
I
she
wouldn't
was a
even know.
doctor, because it would mean that she could have gotten away with it.
She could have got Peter out of the hospital. She could have. Yeah, I mean, yeah. All she wanted was a little girl.
Yeah, and she forced a little boy into doing Christ knows what.
Yeah.
You see at the end. So let's go to the end.
Yeah, with the kill.
So you find out the big reveal that Angela is in actual fact Peter.
Yeah.
And Angela is missing at this point, and the camp counselors are looking for her because of Ricky. That's why, because they found Ricky. Ricky's all right, he's just unconscious, but they're looking for Angela, and Angela is sitting there with Peter, who, bearing in mind, is it Peter? Is that who the little boy called? Paul. Sitting with Paul, bearing in mind she's very angry at him.
Yeah, because he'd obviously gone off with Judy and kissed Judy, so she was still very angry and very sore about that whole thing.
I'm choking on a nut.
Don't do that. So what you see is they
keep going.
Find her sat on the beach, and you see her hair and her back, and you see some legs, and you just see what looks like she's stroking. That's what it looks like she's doing, isn't it?
She's stroking some hair. She's just stroking some hair, and she's singing away.
Yeah,
like, and she ain't got a care in the world.
And then she stands up and turns around.
Oh no, let's not forget.
Oh no, the head first.
Yeah. She stands up, and the fucking head rolls the other way because she's ripped the fucker off. That's what you get, Paul. That's what you get for kissing somebody else. You get your head ripped off.
Bit of an extreme reaction, but it's an Angela reaction all the same.
Angela stands up.
So Angela then stands up, and the head rolls off, and then Angela slowly turns around, and in all of cinema, I don't recall ever seeing a full male nude scene.
For as long as it is.
As well, that just lingers, like you say. It is a long shot.
This what this movie does best. It long shots everything. Well, and you see Angela standing in as she is, and
male from the neck down.
Male from the neck down. That is not Felissa Rose. That is not her body. That was the one condition her mum said.
Yeah.
No. So wanted her to wear a suit with the penis, and she said no.
They wanted her to wear a strap on.
Yes.
That was one of the ones I saw, and I was like, she's 13?
Yes. And her mum knew. Like, her mum obviously knew. I think her mum knew she was unfortunately signed something that she may not why can't I talk? She shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But she was there.
Yeah.
She was always there. She was there at the set. She was there right next to her. She never left her daughter's side. Good on you, fucking mum. Good on you. And Felissa is such a fucking charming woman. I love that woman.
Well, this is the thing about Ed French that did all of the sculpting and everything for the film.
Mm-hmm.
He was asked, and he was working on at the time male genitalia. He was doing an actual full-on cod piece for her to wear.
Mm-hmm.
When he got the call to say, no, that's not happening anymore, we need to rethink this. And he was like, I've never been so glad not to have to look at a dick in such detail up close when I'm planting, when I'm like putting hairs in, and I'm sculpting. And he said it was just like, I got to a point where I was just like, this feels so wrong. He said there was something that felt inherently wrong about it whilst I was doing it. But Ed French himself is quite a big special effects artist, and people don't realise how much he's done. He's done a lot of TV work. He did Buffy. He did Supernatural and Westworld. He worked on all those.
Is he worth adding to the man behind the maker?
Maybe, because he recently did Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Fuck off.
But his biggest to date is Terminator 2. Judgment Day.
I think we should add him to the list.
That's a hell of that. That movie is a...
Yeah. You could have just said that, and I'd be like, yeah, let's get him on the list, because there is some fucking work in that.
That movie is everything, and it still stands up today to me, and it doesn't look janky, and it doesn't look terrible. I still, every time I watch it, I still go, how the fuck did they do that in 1992? You know, you're just like, I can't, it doesn't compute with me that it was that good.
Anytime someone in my family goes, have you seen such and such? I would go, have you seen this boy?
Have you seen this boy?
Have you seen this boy? I love it. It's honest. It still holds up. I think that would be a good one to go over, Man Behind the Makeup, because that is some hell of a credentials. And this is, for all, yes, we should also talk about Angela's face.
Yes, because Ed did something with her face.
Yes, that is not her jaw. Now,
no.
If you've not seen Sleepaway Camp, I would bet my bottom dollar or bottom pound coin, because I'm English, that you have seen the image of Felissa Rose's face at the end of this movie, where her jaw, oh God, am I going to be able to do it?
Yeah.
I think further down.
And it's the eyes are just so big.
And her mouth is like, it's extended, it's like brought down. What the fuck is with the demon noises?
I'm still not sure what that was all about, but I know that the gentleman that played the naked body had a mask. They made a mask, a plaster cast. It was originally plaster cast. Then they realised that of Felissa's face. Then they realised that that wasn't going to work in the way they needed it to, because the man that they needed to cast, needed to be the size of a 13-year-old, over 18 to do the full naked shot.
Mm-hmm.
He had to have small enough features to be able to fit the mask on, because obviously she was tiny. So they needed it to look. So they made Felissa's face mask that's in the final cut out of potato chips and dental, like plaster, when they make molds out of dental plaster. So that whole mask, where it's static, is made out of those, then painted. But they did do splicing shots of Felissa just doing the face.
Yeah, yeah. So, Felissa can actually do the mouth now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she does it. If you ask her at a convention, she will quite happily take a photograph with you. Her fucking jaw must kill. But she is very appreciative of where she came from in the industry, and she will quite happily take a photograph. I'm talking like I know her. Yeah.
She did a huge talk for the Love of Horror back in 2019. Was it 2021?
It'll be 2021. It'll be the year I wasn't there.
Yeah, she was on stage whilst I was queuing for. Yes, you were. Yeah, I was queuing to meet the Monster Squad, and she was having a Q&A with Ben. I think Ben Fenlon on the stage. I think it was Ben that was doing the Q&A for that one. It might have been Neil.
Yeah, I was there. It was just the Sunday I was there.
Yeah, and I was queuing up for the Monster Squad. Go back and watch that one. But I was queuing up for that, and I remember hearing a lot of they were showing freeze frames and stuff of the movie. Obviously, all family friendly freeze frames, but and she was talking about like the process and how she had to go a long time telling everybody she was a biological female, because at the time no one understood the fact that was a mask on a man. They thought it was Felissa Rose standing there butt naked.
Yeah, it was not.
It was not. She was 13. Not. 13.
I still generally can't understand the demonic noises that comes out of her. Because it's like, does it not make you think at the end, oh, she's been possessed?
I did have a moment.
Is this what it means? Like,
but I thought it was two things. I thought it was either that, you could interpret it as that, I suppose, or the fact that she'd just finally had that mental break.
And almost animalistic.
Yeah,
the noises.
It had gone. Whatever it was that told her. I mean, obviously she'd been killing everybody up until this point, but this was a big thing, because she was revealing who she really was, and she just decapitated somebody as well. I mean, and sat with him and was cradling him, and like, I know to this day the guy that played her body double never has been named, because he at 18 he had to get pissed to do that scene. He had to get really drunk because he was just over 18 and that was it, and he just needed some money from college, and so he came to do the job, but he's uncredited. No one knows who he is other than the directors or the paycheck people.
The
But yeah,
paycheck people. Here's your paycheck,
it.
naked boy.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's kind of like a big deal, you know, the fact that the anonymity has stayed with that man for 40 years. And he's never once come out and gone, hiya, that was me.
I don't need to, I don't need to have that notoriety.
Nah.
I generally don't understand for the life of me why I love this movie as much as I do.
Because it's fucking bizarre.
It's so bizarre. It's almost like, but there's so much more worse in horror. There really is, like, so much more bizarreness in horror. Yet this just kind of stuck with us. And I remember watching it for the first time and I was like, wow, it's another one of my birthday films.
Well, when you look at it, at the time you had all the Friday the 13th were coming out from 80 onwards. Then you had like The Burning. The Burning was 81. That was my first horror film I ever saw, the Cropsey one. So you had The Burning with the shears. And you had... There was just camp horror after camp horror after camp horror coming out at that time. And they were all very... Man with a machete, man with some cutters. Do you know what I mean? They were all very formulaic. Whilst they all were great in their own rights, and I'm not taking anything away from all those movies, this was a multitude of kills, not done by a stabby stab. It's you know, they were inventive kills, they were unique kills, they were mixed up as well. So it technically isn't a slasher in the traditional sense of a slasher.
She's not classed as like a machete wielding or knife wielding. She's a serial killer.
That's the thing. So she would then technically, Angela belongs in your sort of Patrick Bateman American Psycho delusional.
But we know Angela did it.
But you know, when you're trying to
I get what you mean.
her, you know,
I do, because she's not your typical Michael. She's not your typical Jason for that time. And when it comes to, I've never seen The Burning, and it's twice now it's been brought up. They were talking about it at the podcast on Friday.
Cropsey is one of my. He will always.
I might watch that at the weekend because I've got nothing to fucking do this weekend.
It's on Amazon. I think it's like $3.99 to rent it, but you might find it on YouTube.
I find other ways.
But yeah, it's Cropsey, and it's got the guy who played the Indian chap and it's also got you know, is it that one?
Rick Wakeman.
You know, Pretty Woman. The Richard Gere's best mate in that.
Yeah, Jason Alexander.
He's in that. He's in it. He's in The Burning, and he's only
Fisher Stevens is in it.
Yeah, Fisher Stevens. Yeah, I went blank on his name, but yeah, those two are in it, and it's like you see them at the youngest.
If nobody knows who Fisher Stevens is, he is the doctor from Friends who Phoebe goes out with, and she ends up leaving him because he hates all of her friends. He rips into all the friends. But he is also the guy who did the documentary Burn Bright Lights with Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds just before they died.
Really?
It was Fisher Stevens who directed it. It's a beautiful documentary.
I went my entire life thinking Fisher Stevens was an Indian gentleman because of Short Circuit. And then when I found out it was, for want of a better word, whitewashing,
very much.
I was shocked. And I don't mean that like it made me go, oh my God, I'm appalled and disgusted. I was just like,
wow,
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I honestly would have laid money because that was my bringing up, and the only
you don't know any different at that point.
No, my only frame of reference to Fisher Stevens was him playing a very like Apu style gentleman. And then when it came out, I mean, I'd seen The Burning, but never put him and him together.
Yeah. And, I think I'm going to watch that at the weekend because, like I say, it's the second time it's been brought up to us, and it's like I've heard of it, but never thought, oh, I'll go and give that a watch, because it was referenced with this as well, because it's part of that genre. And you would see you in the wheelhouse of horror, Sleepaway Camp is going to sit in the slasher genre.
Yeah.
Just is. But technically, she's a serial killer with just a really petty grudge. Let's be honest. Angela doesn't have the justification for Angela's killing is really fucking petty.
It is, yeah.
It's not like Jason's, where Jason's like, these kids, they let a fucking kid die. Like, their negligence allowed a kid to die.
Yeah.
They just, three kids kick sand at her.
It's just people being mean to her.
I know. Like, if you can't take the heat, don't go to the fucking camp.
But I think that's the thing. She has no coping skills, or she doesn't have any. She's always been told to be someone else, Angela, by her aunt. Peter has been told that he's Angela. Peter's been told that he has to wear dresses. Peter's been told that he has to behave a certain way. So Peter's never dealt with the fact that he's lost his sister because he becomes his sister.
It's got to be all sorts of...
And honestly, I think that he has no ability to, A, be sociable, B, interact like someone who hasn't gone through the trauma that he's gone through. Pushy, disgusting, weird aunt and the loss of his father and his sister, never had time to process that shit before he's stuck in a dress and called him Angela,
Yeah.
So psychologically, I think I understand that he just broke.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. That's a snap moment.
Yeah.
You don't fucking take someone's. That's the most brutal. Apart from the kids with the fucking hatchet, it's like it's leading up. Like all of them are kind of leading up to this big, massive crescendo of just ripping this poor kid's head off
because he kissed another girl.
I do generally hope people go out and watch this, and I know that like you've had the ending spoiled, and there's no fucking way we could have talked about Sleepaway Camp without talking about the ending. But I do urge you to watch it. Like I said, I watched it in that cinema, and the whole place eruption in laughter. And then
it's a funny film on reference to today, going back.
It really is, and it's okay to laugh as well.
Yeah,
because I learned in this, because when you're at home, you kind of like, oh, cringe. But should I be laughing at this? Should I Yeah, you should laugh at it. Laugh at it because it's fucking hilarious. I have no more in Sleepaway Camp. I know there's a whole big fucking franchise of Sleepaway Camp, but I am not interested in any of the others apart from the first one. Anyone
that said that they've watched the subsequent ones afterwards, what a lot of people don't know is that a certain very famous singer of the 80s, sister, ended up playing Angela in the movies. It's not Felissa
Rose throughout the whole thing, is it?
No. It's Bruce Springsteen's little sister, Pamela Springsteen. She ended up playing Angela, and when it got to the second movie, I think they said that she'd had gender reassignment surgery at that point, so she was technically a woman, so there was no need for the shocked. It just lost it. You didn't need. This is one franchise that I will definitely say did not need a sequel. It could have been a one and done. The sequels from 2 to 5 made no sense because the reveal was there. There was no need for anything else. How do you move on from that? You can't. So get in the bin. I mean,
bin. Nah. Fucking get in. No, totally agree with you. Got absolutely no interest. It's not. I have never gone looking for them. I don't really want to.
No.
I am more than happy for this just to be where it is. In my life. And I
know that she was only paid $5,000 in 1983 for the part.
Oh.
Which translates to around $15,000 by today's standards.
Still.
Which, when you look at that, considering the movie made in the box office 11 million in 1983, which equates to 33.9 million today, and it literally was in the top. I think it was the top of the box office on its opening weekend.
Fuck.
In America, in New York. That is a big thing to do for a horror movie, especially an indie horror movie, which it was
It very much was.
Yeah, I mean that to me is absolutely nuts. I do know that when it was released on VHS in the UK, it wasn't called Sleepaway Camp.
Go on.
They released it as called Nightmare Vacation, which I found bizarre because A, we don't use the word vacation.
No,
B,
we do not.
It wasn't a vacation. It's a trip to camp.
It was a summer camp at Camp Anawawa. I can't even say it. Anawa.
So that one got me, and I was just like, that doesn't. No. I've only ever known it as Sleepaway Camp. I've never known it as anything different.
Sleepaway, yeah. No, I don't know. We are not American. We don't call our holidays fucking holiday camp. Happy campers. Happy holidays.
To say nightmare at Butlins.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
Yes, first-hand knowledge. I can.
I have laughed so much in this episode, my voice is gone.
Well, I was going to say, there's only one more thing. I know that it's been parodied a lot in a lot of comedy skits now, more so, in the last sort of decade or so, because Robot Chicken even did a scene.
They didn't.
Where Seth Green was like, they did the whole thing where she turned around and she was like, and they put a big censored bar across, and so Robot Chicken have even done a little skit about it. But yeah, I mean, for the kill count, there were 12 deaths in total.
Yeah.
But Angela was only responsible for 10 of the kills. So Jason still reigns supreme. As from last week. Sorry, Claude.
Sorry, Claude.
He's a very close second, is Claude, but
it's not. I was saying this the other day that because I could finally talk about it when we did the other day, a few weeks ago now. We're in the future. When we did the charity, I was explaining on the charity podcast stream that Jason is now reign supreme over our Lord and Savior Claude Rains, but he had to do that in a multitude of films. Yes. Claude did it in one.
Yeah. 12 movies Jason got to the 148.
I will still class him because that's what we said we would do, kill count across the board, and Jason still
148 across 12 films, and Claude manages 142 in one.
The number keeps going up for Claude. It's 128. Is
it 128? Okay, 128.
I'm sure
I look at a lot of numbers.
I'm sure we've both done that before, but it keeps creeping up. I think we're just adding people in at this point. Yeah. It is like 128 because it's like 100 on the bus and the rest of them either off screen or on screen.
Yeah. Well, it's still not far behind. 128.
No, not at all.
Not at all. 148. So,
but he is still at the moment our reigning champ. Well done, Jason. I'm like, honestly, Jason's one of my favorite characters, but it's still, he was there for so long.
Yeah.
So long.
Yeah.
Are we all done with Sleepaway Camp?
I will say so. I think that this is a film that if you watch it, it will make you laugh, make you go, what the fuck? Make you go, did they do that? Do
you know what it'll do? It'll bring an interesting conversation to the dinner table. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, that it will.
It will. I always find movies like that excellent. Like Tusk, for example.
Yeah,
fucking crazy. But you can have a really good conversation with someone about that movie because it does get you thinking, and it does get your mind going as to what the fuck have I just witnessed. And you can say the same about Sleepaway Camp. What the fuck did I just witness? Did I generally just see a pedalo on screen? Did that actually happen? That a 70-year-old was having a relationship with an 18-year-old?
Yep. And did she just stick that curling iron where I think she did?
Absolutely. Like, these are questions that you can have over your Sunday dinner.
If you are so inclined.
If you are. Now, again, for next week, which I don't know. Listeners, viewers, do you know?
No, because this is the end.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have had to do some pre-records, some shuffling about, because one little lady is on her jolly bobs.
Yes.
So we are We are not announcing our list just yet.
No, but know that we're heading towards the C word. And
Dan's most hated time of the year.
bleh,
Bleh.
it's
we
not
are
my
gonna
favourite, but I will swallow it for you guys.
Yes.
Just so
Yes.
you know. So
She
I know
will.
we've got some cracking ones coming up.
Yeah,
To
we
sit,
do.
to cross the whatever that is. Okay? Got to that point now.
At that point?
To
The
cross
flippy flop, the flippy
cross
floppy side? The wavy side? The Wayne's World side? I don't know what you're doing with your hands.
Yeah, to cross the line between horror and seasonal movies, should we say?
Yes. Yeah. We're actually like, I know that we on the Sunday podcast don't and will not be doing anything covering the C word this year because it just doesn't work.
No.
But we, as horror fans, have a couple of little gems that we would like to do before we end for the year and have a little ditty break before we are back in the new year. I can't believe we are getting ready to talk about we are having a break to come back in the new year. I cannot believe we are nearly at like where we're at in the year.
I'm going to say something. So happy 6 months of the podcast.
Ooh.
Today is episode 26, which marks 6 months of the podcast.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's one a week for 26 weeks, which puts that at slap bang in the middle for being on now for 6 months.
Wow. And you've worked all that out with all the rejigs and the jingling and juggling about.
Oh, I did for certain.
Oh,
so this will be episode 26. So yeah.
Get this. There was a question given on one of the quizzes for the Discord people. How many episodes has there been of Monsters? What number did I give? The one we've recorded at. What number was the actual one? The one that they've seen. I was like, I fucking no, I'm not. I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong because we have recorded so many episodes.
But as of today, as of this one going out, we have done 6 months worth of Monsters.
Wowza!
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you to everyone who either watches on YouTube, listens to us on Spotify and iTunes, which goes up every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, the episode goes. I was getting there. I did start the episode goes up every Tuesday on iTunes and Spotify or certain other podcasting platforms. I generally don't know, but I'm sure them two are the big ones.
Yeah.
So if you can like, share, and subscribe on the YouTube video, give us a heart and a thumbs up, and you can leave comments on Spotify as well. Let us know that you listen. Let us know if you've got any questions. Just let us know if you genuinely like us. Do not tell us that you hate us. I do not want to read that shit on there. What else to do? What else?
That's it.
Is that it?
That's it.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah.
YouTube, iTunes. Wow. Back episodes. Hey.
Yeah.
Do it.
There's 26 of them now, including this one. So go back. We've got The Creature of the Black Lagoon. We've got Predator. We've got Xenomorphs. We've got...
Or Xenomorphs, depending where you come from.
Yeah. We've got Jason.
We've got a Godzilla episode. Fuck, I forgot we did that.
Yeah, Godzilla with Jakey Jake. And then we've got oh my God, we've done so many. It's
starting to get like the Sunday one where I generally can't remember what it is we've done. And it's a good job. One of us is organised.
One of us, yeah. I mean, we've got what have we had? What else have we got? Just have a quick...
Let's go to the back catalogue. We'll just go to the back catalogue.
We've done Creature of the Black Lagoon, Godzilla, The Wolfman.
Oh, yeah.
Xenomorph, The Invisible Man, Chucky and Tiffany, Phantom of the Opera, Predator with Creature of the Black Tattoo, Pennywise. Chucky and Tiffany was
Paul.
with Peaches and Scream. Pennywise was with Paul. Then we did a Get to Know Us episode because we like to share. And then we did Jigsaw. We've done The Bride of Frankenstein. We've even done Bagul from Sinister.
We've even gone down that route. We actually did that. That happened, people. That was an episode.
We've got 2 parts of the Tom Savini, Man Behind the Makeup.
Okay,
we did The Thing with Mike Kell from the Geek Asylum.
Our friend Mike.
And then we've done The Monster Squad. We've done The Mummy, Leatherface. We did Man Behind the Monsters with Gary Oldman. We've done Hannibal, Jason. At this point, we've done Idle Hands, Trick or Treat, and Pet Cemetery. And here we are at Sleepaway Camp, 26 episodes.
Holy fucking shit. And you all think that, right, they're just getting all these big players out and then they're going to have no fucking content. You have no idea what we have planned for next year.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. We're gonna have a lot to do next year for sure.
Yeah.
And there'll be a lot of people on next year as well.
Yeah, this is kind of like being I want to say like our pilot in a way, like our test, like our finding our feet, our finding our audience, our finding our structure, to then go fucking balls to the wall next year and fuck it all up and create something completely different. But no, you think because we've done all these big players that's it. It really, I promise you people, it really isn't. And the only way you're going to find out is by subscribing to YouTube, hitting the notification bell so you can get reminded when episodes are coming out. Look, see, added something new. Yeah. And getting on iTunes and Spotify, and also following Dan's page, Bleeding Marvellous and Nerdy Up North.
On all your socials and all that business.
All your socials. The Monster socials will be expanding next year as well, so be on the lookout for that. But that is more to come. We are still... Where are we now? Are we in November?
We are in November.
We're in November.
Yeah.
Just have to keep reminding myself where I actually am.
Not currently, but as of the podcast, we're in November.
We're in November. So more on that to come. So thank you everyone for watching, and stay nerdy, everyone. Bye.